Alright, y'all. Alright, we back with another one. This is UpChurch. What I think happened to Summer Wells. I fast forwarded to the part where he was talking about, her, I'm pretty sure. And we gonna get into it and see what he got to say. What he think happened to her. I don't know who he talking about, so this is why I wanted to react to it with y'all. So, you know what I'm saying? On that note, let's go and get into it.
Knows something. If you don't know who Summer Wells is a little girl out of Tennessee who miraculously disappeared in 2 seconds, according to the fucking parents. Now, if you are going to look up Summer Wells stuff, there are two people I suggest you go watch who are very just looking at the facts. You got this fella right here, Harsh Reality.
That would happen to my children. It just wouldn't. I would sacrifice everything.
And another good source of factual information is Christina Randall.
So they had decided that they were going to go to like this water area or whatever.
And she breaks it down like where they went the whole day, times, everything. Now, apparently, the parents are like, oh, we don't know what happened. She just fucking disappeared. Could somebody have snatched her in 2 seconds? Yes. Is the probability of that high? No. Even if somebody did, which is slim to fucking none, it would have to be somebody that knows them or knows that property.
Facts. Or knows them. Like you said, knows them. Because when you kidnapping somebody, you got, especially a kid, and especially if you kidnapping them in a public area where people at, they're gonna scream. It's impossible nowadays, especially from what I'm seeing from the videos that he showed. They saying they was out and stuff like that, around other people and stuff like that. So if they was around other people, then somebody had to see something. Like, straight up. I'm just being real. This little girl, so I don't know how long she been missing. But it's just a sad situation because you have to keep your eyes on kids nowadays, especially when you in a public area. Because we got them creeps out there. That don't give two fucks. You know what I'm saying? They can be in the public area around people. They'll still try to snatch up your kid. You know what I'm saying? Nowadays, they don't wait till like when they not around nobody. Back in the day, they used to wait, plot it out, and wait till they by themselves, till that little boy or little girl by themselves, and then snatch them up. Nowadays, they do it right there in the park around a lot of people. Just snatch them up and keep on going. And you looking around like, where is this boy? Where is this? That nowadays they do it right in public eye. You just have to keep your eyes on your kids. I'm telling you, we living in a crazy world. Crazy world.
100%. There's just a bunch of things that don't make sense, like small things that have been said in interviews and stuff that just don't make sense to me. Like in one interview, the parents are like, "Oh, she loved princesses. She loved, Elsa and whatever those princesses' names are." And then in another interview, she's like, "Oh, well, she loved the lady at church, Robin, because Robin is pretty and has long hair." But then the little girl's head is shaved. Like, that seems like something somebody does to be, like, mean, you know what I mean? Like one of those, "Oh, you're not pretty, I'm going to shave your head." Could the little girl have wanted her head shaved? Sure, she could have. But I don't see a little girl with long blonde hair that likes Elsa being like, "Yes, shave my head." Doesn't make any sense. So according to the mom, they went to this swimming hole place and then left from there, went back to the house. They got to the house. The little girl wanted to go in with her brothers who were watching TV. The mom, Candace, was with her mom outside, and her mom was like, "I need to replant these fucking flowers or whatever." So you come up the driveway, here's Summer Wells' house, or her parents' house. And then right outside is a camper that her mom stays in. Alright, so the little girl runs in the house. The mama is still out here with the grandma. And then the mama, 2 minutes later, 2 minutes, like what the fuck? Alright. 2 minutes later, walks to the house, looks in the back door and is like, "Hey, Summer, want to plant flowers?" And she was like, "Yeah." So she comes outside. Apparently they planted flowers for a minute. Then the little girl's like, I want to go back inside with my brothers. So she goes in the house. Shortly after that, the mom leaves the camper, walks into the house, asks the sons, hey, where's your sister? And they said, oh, she's downstairs playing. Well, apparently the mom went down the stairs and then freaked the fuck out about something and was like super frantic. If that's true, I want to know what she was freaking out about, because don't forget, the neighbor was interviewed by the news, and the neighbor said they heard a loud scream. It was never clarified where that scream came from, but it was heard by the neighbor and her kids. But the neighbor also said they heard Candace yelling Summer. All right, so pause. So the little girl goes downstairs, ends up missing, right? Okay. But here's the thing. In one of the interviews, the dad says, oh yeah, her being outside was her biggest downfall. I don't know what the fuck that means, but there's all kind of videos.
How is her being outside is her biggest downfall? She a kid. That's what kids do. They go outside and play. How is that her biggest downfall? Kids get snatched up on a daily basis. It's just we have to do more, pay more attention to them. Especially as a parent, as an auntie, as an uncle, as a grandparent, whatever you is to that child, you knowing you have to watch them, especially outside. No, it's the dad biggest downfall for not paying attention, not being there. It's the mama biggest downfall for not paying attention and being there. And this just sound all weird to me because, like UpChurch said, less than 2 minutes, then she disappeared. Like something ain't right with that. With none of this really, like it doesn't add up, because at 9 times 10 you gonna get snatched up. You gonna get snatched up outside, not in the house. You know what I'm saying? It just don't.
Videos of the little girl being outside, and they said she loved being outside and she just loved to run outside. But being outside was her biggest downfall? What the fuck? What does that even mean? Plus, that doesn't really line up with all the videos of her being outside that her parents have on social media. Now, let's go back to this mysterious scream the neighbor heard real quick. The reason I'm saying that is because you have all these videos of this little girl outside, playing outside, being outside, on a swing, running around, playing with a dog. If the little girl's always outside and she has a door in the basement area that leads outside, why would the mom scream from going down in that room and just not seeing her? That doesn't make sense. I would have walked down there and not seen her, and then went out the back door and been like, Summer, and been like looking for her outside, since she's always outside. It makes you wonder, did the scream come from the little girl from being taken out of the yard? I don't think so. Did it come from the mom because maybe she went back in the house and seen the little girl trip and fell down the stairs? Kind of what I think.
You never know. Accidents happen every day too. It's just we eventually find out. They just got to get the story together, but we eventually will find out what happened. Cause now that I'm watching this, I want to know what happened. So somebody gonna tell the truth of what happened. It's gonna come out. They need to pressure them parents more, and it's gonna come out, because the story them saying that make it seem like she was kidnapped in the house. Like I just said, if somebody gonna kidnap you, 9 times out of 10 it's gonna be outside. It's not gonna be in the house. I'm just being real. Like, and if she went downstairs and screamed, she had to find her there. Like Church just said, I'm not gonna go downstairs and scream unless I see the child laying there unresponsive. That would, you know what I'm saying? That would terrify the fuck out of me. You know what I'm saying? But for her just to scream and then still be looking for her, make it seem like she's still looking for her, she probably was downstairs the whole time, and they just probably covering it up. That's why I say it's got to be more to this story. And it's gonna come out. What's done in the dark come to light. Just give it time. Just give it time. I'm telling y'all. I am telling y'all. It is gonna come out.
Seems like, not to mention, in one of the first interviews, if not the first interview, they're talking about the little girl in past tense. And every time they talk about the little girl in past tense, they say, oh, sorry, I don't mean past tense, or sorry. Like, what? Why? Here's another thing. There was a underage kid named Hunter that was at the swimming hole with them. So, in the interviews and stuff, it says that he did not go back to Candace's house. But there's a text message from the beginning that says he does go to her house. Alright, so you know the grandma in the camper, right? This is her text message. Now, it's got a fuck ton of typos in it. But the typo in the first sentence sticks out. It says, now this is the grandma saying, Hun Sum, yeah, you're right, Hun Sum, it's a typo. Hun Sum, I, and Candace, the mom, was planting flowers right before she went missing. Well, he was never apparently there. Like, what the fuck? And that's coming from a text message of someone who was there. And there's also someone that says Candace told them that he was at the house during the time.
Candace stuck to her story about dropping Hunter off before returning home with Grandma Candy and Summer.
What was told to me is that he did go back with her at the house. I don't know how he got home because that wasn't mentioned to me.
Okay. So, who was it? Somebody close to the family, or that told you that, or was it?
No, it was Candace.
So Candace told you that Hunter went back to the house that day.
Hunter was with her at the house that day.
Oh my God.
Now, if you go watch the interview of the Hunter kid on YouTube, he's yawning excessively over and over and over. Now, on the body language side of yawning over and over and over, and I'm not talking like 4 times, I'm talking like 30 times. When somebody has anxiety or stress, anxiety is hooked to your heart and your respiratory system. So when you are feeling stressed out or feeling high anxiety about something, you're going to get breathlessness. And while you're watching the interview, the Hunter kid even notices it. And he tells the interviewer, he's like, hey, sorry, I'm yawning a lot. I yawn a lot when I'm tired. Alright. So, Hunter, Candace, the mom, and then the grandma and Summer are in the car. The Hunter kid claims that Don, Summer's dad, calls Candace, Summer's mom, and is on the phone. Then when she hung up the phone, the Hunter kid asked, what was that about? What did he want? And then Candace apparently told him, oh, there's some creeper by the house, creeping around the house. Now keep in mind, Summer is with them at this fucking moment. Now Summer's dad is calling Summer's mom, saying there's a weirdo by the house who like touches kids and shit. First off, how the fuck does he know? He's at work. Don has alibis that says he's at work. You know why? Because he probably was at work. Doesn't mean he don't know something. I mean, he is at work and knows that someone's at his house somehow. I mean, fuck, how does he know that? The grandma's in the car, the mom's in the car, the kid's in the car, Hunter's in the car. Who the hell's around their house to be like, hey, there's a creeper at your house? Trying to look at kids. What?
Her husband calls her talking about this dude named on the property that's been there for like a week or so. She told me they keep stalking other kids.
Who's that?
Some dude named like I have no idea who it was.
Okay. And why did Don call?
I have no idea. He just called. I don't even know if he was working at the time.
Okay.
But if he was working, he obviously wouldn't know that there was some dude looking at the little kids.
So this dude named Don calls Candace
and tells her about, I don't know if his name was.
And tell me about that conversation.
All I heard was.
And how did you hear it?
I heard because I asked her why he called me.
Okay.
The only thing that she told me from the phone call is that there was some dude, whatever it was, just the name.
Okay.
That's all I remember. Is that he's been up on the property for a week or two, trying to, like, I guess she said touch the little kids.
Alright, so if Don's at work, that's his alibi, then how in the fuck did he know somebody was at the house? Second off, that phone call could have been bullshit, and she could have been using the Hunter kid to say that in front of, to have her quote-unquote half-ass alibi. Oh no,
Facts. It's like some don't add up. It's like straight up. They know what happened to that girl. I'm gonna just say it like that. Cause if it was just a regular kidnapping, they would be, it would have been more to it, and the story wouldn't be off like it is. Like, oh, now they saying this, now they saying that. Like, if somebody snatched her up, they'd be like, such and such and took her, and and sticking to that story is different stories they telling. Like, it's crazy.
heard him call her and tell her about this guy that was on the property for a week, and he was trying to look at the kids. Oh, Hunter goes wherever he goes. Candace goes back to the house. Because that's the thing. It had to be somebody that didn't live there, because everybody else that was in the goddamn car lived there. So really, if you ask me, he could know something, or he possibly don't know jack shit. I do find it weird that on May 27th, this Hunter kid put he's in a relationship, and the banner on his Facebook was him and Candace. And he was asking Candace, the mom, why did Don call you? You know what I mean?
Yeah, make it seem like they plotted it together, the mom and the Hunter. It's too many different stories, and I'm telling you, when it come out, watch and see the parents knew. Now I ain't gonna even say the parents, maybe the daddy didn't know, but the mama knows it. The mama knows it. The mama knows what happened to her child. But wait till it come out. Wait till it come. I'm telling you.
So here's the thing. If Don's calling saying, hey, there's somebody around the property, and there's this person that's apparently been there for a fucking week, first off, I ain't gonna let my fucking daughter go any motherfucking where by herself unless I can see her in my visual motherfucking sight. And she's close enough where I can run and beat the fucking shit out of somebody. Not to mention, if your husband just called you and said, hey, there's a creeper at the house trying to fucking touch the kids, he's been there for a week. Well, son of a bitch, if he's been there for a week, why ain't one of y'all shot this motherfucker? Why in the hell are you pulling up, letting your daughter just go to the basement? Well, there's a fucking door down there that leads to the backyard that I can't see at all whatsoever. Then 2 minutes later, the mom comes in and goes downstairs and the little girl's gone. That means if somebody did take her, they were already there, dude. They were
already there. They was already there. They was already there. If they been there a week, been around that house for a whole week, you telling me they ain't been up in that house? They probably was in that house while they was sleeping. Man.
I mean, shit, that's the perfect time to be there, right? None of y'all are there. Don's at goddamn work.
Facts.
Somebody's there because he knows that somebody's there. Look, man, I'm no rocket scientist, but here's what it sounds like to me. If the little girl got abducted like this, it was planned.
Yep.
And I'll tell you how. So everybody's wondering why this 15-year-old is with Candace and Summer at the swimming hole. Okay? She had to pick him up. Because he is an alibi that could actually say, yeah, we went here, and we went here, and we went here. It's not the grandma and not Summer. Because if that kid wouldn't have been there, it would have looked like she was lying even more. So she picks up this 15-year-old Hunter kid. They go everywhere, they do all this stuff, whatever. They go to the swimming hole, go to fucking the Walgreens, and yada, yada, yada. They're away from the house. Don is at work. Probably really is at work. He has alibis saying he's at work. Nobody's at their house. So what if while no one's there, while they're out doing this, Don's at work, Don makes this fucking weird call where he's like, oh yeah, there's someone there looking in the woods or whatever. What if they all left for someone to come there and hide in the house? So when Summer went downstairs, snatch, leave, run down that hill, put her into a vehicle, skirt, gone. You don't have to turn around, you ain't got nothing. So if somebody did take Summer Wells, it had to be two people. Somebody waiting in the car and somebody waiting in the house.
Yep.
You're not going to snatch a little girl and fucking try to drive a vehicle with her in it. That's not going to work. It'd be too time consuming. It'd be way longer than 2 minutes, especially you grabbing her, getting down there, figuring out your situation while she's yelling, and you got to deal with that, then get in the car and drive the car off. By that time, somebody had done fucking heard your ass, seen your ass, beat your ass, whatever. Not to mention this mysterious, suspicious truck that the mom, Candace, is talking about after the fact. Why wouldn't you talk about this suspicious truck before the fact? It's only after the fact. And what do you know? It's a red truck. Do you know how many fucking red trucks there are? Plus, who's to say that that's a bullshit description? What if it's the opposite of what the fuck this person drives? That means that description's a deterrent. You know, I find it awfully fucking weird that when the TBI and shit got there and brought the dogs in, the dogs tracked Summer's scent from her door to the road. Hello? Not to mention going all the way back to when the mom walked in the house and walked down the stairs.
Yeah. All right.
Freaked out once she seen her daughter was not in that room. Because remember, the neighbor heard the scream. And what do you know? It's a red truck. Do you know how many fucking red trucks there are? Plus, who's to say that that's a bullshit description? What if it's the opposite of what the fuck this person drives? That means that description's a deterrent. You know, I find it awfully fucking weird that when the TBI and shit got there and brought the dogs in, the dogs tracked Summer's scent from her door to the road. Hello? Not to mention going all the way back to when the mom walked in the house and walked down the stairs and freaked out once she seen her daughter was not in that room. Because remember, the neighbor heard the scream. And she said shortly after she heard the scream, she heard the mom yelling, "Summer! Summer!" How I think about it is, if they know she's an outdoors girl and she likes being outside, she's literally always outside. If the mom walks in the house and walks into the room that Summer's always leaving to go outside, why would you freak out by walking down the stairs just in the room? Because you're acting. It seems like it's dramatized on purpose. Not to mention, if Don, the husband, called Candace, the mom of Summer Wells, and said, "Hey, there's a creeper around the house." If you're a creeper around the house and you notice nobody's home, and you're already a fucking weirdo anyway, why wouldn't you go hide in the fucking house?
Facts.
Yeah. Somebody is full of shit. And I got a feeling the TBI is going to find out who's full of shit pretty soon.
Yep. Yep, me too. Cause that story, that just don't add up. Y'all let me know what y'all think. Like, it don't add up. Like, what they telling them and how that she can just be snatched up in the home and they take her out the back door. Like, then there's so many different stories. There's so many different stories to that. Like, and if the dog pick up the scent from where you say, from towards the basement, leading out the door, it's more to this story. I'm telling y'all. It's more to it. It is more to the story. And it's going to come out. Because they gonna put pressure on them, peer pressure, whatever you want. They going to pressure them and they going to collapse and finally give in and tell them what really happened to that little girl. I'm telling y'all. It's going to come out. But y'all let me know what y'all think in the comments. Give it a like. Subscribe to the channel. On that note, catch me next video. I'm out.